Hello everyone, this is Arkady from Joy-T5, and today we're going to do a quick video on what some of the upgrades you can do on your 2025 or earlier Rippa R10s to get some of the features of a 2026 machines. In 2026, Rippa introduced some of the upgrades to the R10 series. And in this video, we'll concentrate on the ones that some people talk about online, and that would be the cast steel counterweight and the auxiliary fuel tank. As you might be aware, for about like half a year in 2025, Rippa had to stop sending machines with the auxiliary fuel tanks to North America due to some regulations. Right now they're back and they offer part kits where if you have a machine without the auxiliary fuel tank, you can install it. We'll show you how these parts look, and then thankfully to Craig, one of our customers who bought a 2025 R10 and went ahead and filmed how he installed the fuel tank and the cast steel counterweight. Here is an example of a fuel tank kit. So it comes with a plastic fuel tank, your fuel line, fuel filter, fuel cap, mounting brackets, and the heat insulation. So we sell that as a package that you can install, and it's mostly direct bolt-on. When we were ordering them from Rippa, they said that they should fit directly. We have a customer who bought this kit and the 2025 R10. Based on his experience, it's not the case. He was very nice to film his installation process, and special thanks to Craig for doing it. We'll show you what he filmed, and also he'll show how he installed the cast steel counterweight as well.
Here's a little R10 Rippa Mini Excavator I just purchased off a Joy-T5 out of Calgary, Alberta. When I purchased the unit, I decided to get a couple of upgrades. So there's a counterweight option, cast steel counterweight to replace that little thin piece of metal on the back, and also an upgrade for the fuel tank. This is the finished product of the installation. And here's where the fuel tank goes, and the fuel tank fits in kind of nice. Both upgrades were a bit of work. And Arkady, the owner of Joy-T5, I was the first guy to buy the two upgrades. I have a 2015, the 2016s come with these upgrades. Anyways, so I'll just give you a rundown on the things I had to do to install the two upgrades. To install the gas tank, the new fuel tank upgrade, you have to remove the entire cab. Which just involves removing the bolts for the attached canopy, and then the associated bolts to remove the blue cover of the engine. The whole job to remove the entire assembly takes maybe about 40 minutes. And it's nice if you have an extra set of hands to remove everything. When you do, there's a couple of pictures that will be attached where you can see what you had to do, but the fuel tank basically just fits right in here on two existing brackets. And then there's a little punch out here with the controller where the fuel tank sits. You do have to do a little bit of grinding on the existing little metal brackets in there to bring the fuel tank forward so it aligns good with the hole. The only tricky part is just removing the old fuel tank. 3 bolts, there's the old fuel tank. 3 bolts are extremely easy to get at, and the 4th bolt is kind of tough to get at. So the 4th bolt to remove the fuel tank is under the choke assembly, the choke cable assembly. There's a little plastic tab there, but when you remove 2 of the bolts holding this plastic protective unit, you can actually get a ratchet with the canopy off to get at the bolts. that was the trickiest part of the operation, installing the fuel tank, is just getting at that last bolt to remove the fuel tank, and then just use some vice grips to pinch the fuel lines, and you can cut the fuel line and the gas tank comes out like nothing. There's the new fuel tank sitting in there, and a lot more access to the engine with it. What I also did when I installed the fuel tank is I installed a fuel shutoff valve. I installed it here under that cover because I'll probably only be turning it on and off a few times a year, and it's just 4 quick bolts to remove, to turn the fuel off, and then you can run the carb dry. So here's another view of the fuel tank with the seat lifted, and of course when the old fuel tank you'd have to raise that seat every time and you had no idea how much gas you had left in the machine. So here you can see there's a lot more access to the engine, probably give you a little more better air movement as well. But under here you can see the shoulder of the gas tank that comes up. So when you install the gas tank, you want to have the gas tank as high as it will go and as far forward as it will go, so it aligns with the hole here for the fuel gauge and the lid. You need it to come up as high as the tank will come, so you can actually screw down the gas cap so you get a good seal on the tank. Probably one enhancement I'm going to do the next time I have the canopy off is the brackets that mount the fuel tank. I'll probably just die grind the mounting holes a little more horizontal so I can actually move that tank further forward, because right now I had to put a little bit of pressure when I put the housing back on the unit, to push that tank further ahead to align with the pre-existing hole here, where the tank opening protrudes out. Anyways, that's just a quick rundown. There'll be a couple little pictures where you actually have to grind that bracket assembly so you can bring the fuel tank as far forward as you can so it aligns with the opening. So while I had the cab off, that's also when I tackled the installation of the steel cast counterweight, which definitely helps the amount of how smooth the unit operates when you're traveling and digging a bit. It probably adds close to 100 pounds of counterweight. It's definitely a two-man job once you go to install it. Again, there'll be some pictures inserted into the video so you can see exactly what you have to do. If you do purchase the counterweight, right on the sides here, there's going to be some little guiding kind of strips that align with the 216s, and unfortunately they don't align on the 2015, so you actually have to cut them off to get it installed. When I bought the counterweight, I looked at how it was installed on the 2016, and definitely the frame is beefed up to accommodate this counterweight. So on each side of this counterweight, you got to cut off those two alignment tabs, I guess, if you want to call them that, to get it to come tight to the existing frame. A couple of other things that you have to do to grind is you actually have to grind, if you can see down in there, you can see how close the counterweight comes to the frame. And you see where that hole is on that one tab. You actually have to take probably about a 1/4 inch off of that so it goes by the frame. I'll get another view from underneath on a video. And then the other area that you need to grind is, see where the other hole is there? It actually butts up against it. And this one was so close to coming on top of the frame, which would give you actual support for the counterweight. I took probably about 3/8, a little more than a 1/4 inch off the bottom of that, so it would actually slide on top of the frame. and provide a little bit of support for the counterweight. Because all that holds the counterweight on are these two bolts and the existing brackets that you can see right there. And on the 2016s, they're a lot more heavy duty for sure. And there you can see that that whole tab sitting on the frame, which provides additional support. One other thing that I did was I actually installed another support, and just there's a couple existing bolts where I bolted this support right to the frame, and then that support also just comes right up under. What I used was just some 1x2 channel, 1/4 inch thick steel, and then I just cut a little offset to attach to the frame and then support the counterweight. I basically had to take about 3/4 of an inch off the channel so it was tight underneath the counterweight, providing additional support. And now I'm not worried at all about the support the counterweight has on the unit. Here's another view underneath the engine, and this is the left side where you can see those existing bolt holes in the counterweight assembly, which are there for the 2016 model. But you can see right here where it was going to hit the frame. So I basically had to grind, like I said, probably a 1/4 inch to a 3/8 of an inch off of that, just so it would get past the frame when installing the counterweight. And then here you can see the 1x2 channel that I used, and just bolted it to the existing holes in the frame. And then I did my offset, like you can see here, basically 3/4 of an inch, and now it's fully supporting the counterweight. The other bit of grinding that I had to do was right here on this other bolt. See, you can see where I cut it, and just so it would go above the frame and just provide additional support. You could have cut it as well and come up with a different support method, but that's the method I chose to do. Again, it was just a bunch of work with the grinder and a little bit of work fabricating this bracket. But other than that, you know, once you know what to do and that sort of thing, it probably took me about an hour to 2 hours, but a lot of jimmying around there to start with, just to try to figure out what I was looking at. When you are reinstalling this new counterweight, one thing you want to do is loosen these side bolts of the existing frame, because there's 2 pins that align, and then get your bolt started, and then slowly tighten the bolts to get it to align to the pins. And then the other thing that I did was I just provided some plastic support spacers, just because the fit wasn't identical to the existing body assembly that I took off. So on each side of the unit, I cut these plastic spacers to secure the existing cab. There's 2 bolts right inside here, and they're about the toughest part of the job, and they're very important because you use them to align the door. This one's kind of easy to get at, but that one, you know, in behind the hydraulic expansion tank, it's a little tougher to get at. You could remove that expansion tank if you wanted to, but I just kind of fought through it and got a socket in through the top with a big long extension, and I was able to get at it easy enough. Other than the grinding and providing the additional support, which you definitely need, the steel counterweight fit up and lined with everything else that was existing on the unit. I'm not sure how it's going to affect the performance, but it definitely makes traveling smoother. I haven't really dug anything with it yet. I'm just waiting to get the machine to our camp where I'm bought this thing for the project. Anyways, I hope that helps. So just a little correction in the counterweight assembly there when I was talking about the tabs that you got to grind. That first tab I was talking about, it was actually the right side of the engine, not the left side. When you're removing the blue canopy, the top here, The toughest part is you just got to be careful when you're removing these two controllers. There's a couple of quick connects for the wiring, which is fairly easy to get at and easy to remove. But you actually have to remove the choke assembly from the bracket here, which is a bit of a pain in the ass in order to get it off, because the choke doesn't allow you to the way the choke is set up, it doesn't allow you to pull this unit through the cab. So when I had it apart, I actually grinded off the tab on the top of the choke and just dyed in some good threads and actually did a nut and then a nut underneath. So the next time I remove the top, the canopy here, I can actually just screw this off, remove the bolt, and leave the choke assembly fully installed, which will definitely make things easier, because it definitely was not easy to remove the choke from the choke assembly there. Anyways, hopefully that helps you if you decide to get these two upgrades. Great to deal with. Anyways, future videos to come on the project account.
We hope that you found this video useful. Special thanks to Craig as well for supporting the community and sharing this information. If you're going to have any questions about Rippa parts or upgrade kits, feel free to give Jody5 a call or visit our website. And as always, thank you for watching, like and subscribe.